Good afternoon, I'm Shane Masters with the Midday News. Special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. The Legal Aid Council has come under pressure following the increase in cases requiring its intervention. This amid the declaration of states of emergency SOEs in 6 parishes. The details from TVJ's Kirk Wright.
An increase in the number of states of emergency has prompted a rapid growth in the number of detainees under the security measure, and as a result, the Legal Aid Council is left with mounting pressure as the number of cases requiring its intervention have also increased. Executive Director of the Legal Aid Council, Hugh Faulkner, says several persons who have been taken into custody need legal intervention, and this has kept the entity busy. Speaking on Beyond the Headlines on Thursday, Mr. Faulkner said most of the requests to the council are for 4 of the parishes which are under the SOE.
The request so far from our end, even though our lawyers and our panel, they can act even without our directive once they know a person and send in the claims to us. But the main requests we have gotten for help are from Westmoreland, St. James, St. Catherine, and Hanover. Hanover would be mixed up with the St. James.
He added that almost 70 detainees were recorded on Saturday at the Tamarind Farm Detention Center in St. Catherine. These detainees are from the SOE, which was imposed for both Clarendon and St. Catherine.
There were 67 detainees. Our team of lawyers spoke to 51. 16 were charged under the anti-gang legislation. So I know when they come to court, they will be accorded lawyers for those who cannot afford. Some of the detainees, about 5 of them had attorneys. There were 15 who had given complaints about medical issues, and so we requested medical, and we are sure that some of them got medical attention, but we also provided the list to the police high command to ensure that for those who are there, who remain in detention, that the follow-up is done.
In the meantime, Mr. Faulkner said the council will be taking steps to ensure the legal process moves at an acceptable pace for the detainees.
The request so far from our end, even though our lawyers and our panel, they can act even without our directive once they know a person and send in the claims to us. But the main requests we have gotten for help are from Westmoreland, St. James, St. Catherine, and Hanover. Hanover would be mixed up with the St. James.
The Legal Aid Council has a panel of attorneys that provide legal services to persons detained or facing criminal charges who are unable to afford private representation. Kirk Wright, TVJ News.
One man was beheaded allegedly by his older brother during a dispute in Crocus Mountain, Roehampton, St. James, Thursday morning. He has been identified as 25-year-old Dale Hilton. His brother, who is now on the run, has been identified as 33-year-old Kevin MacLeod. It's understood that shortly after 8:30, both brothers were at home when an argument developed between them. The argument escalated, and Kevin, the older brother, used a machete to chop his younger brother on the neck, almost severing the head from the body. Kevin then fled the scene. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has suggested the creation of monitoring programs for national issues such as crime and corruption. He made the comment at a function to mark the completion of Jamaica's monitoring arrangement with the International Monetary Fund on Wednesday.
All of those require consensus. Sometimes we don't see the crisis in these issues because we're not at the brink and we continue to survive. But in all of them that I've mentioned, Jamaica is in a crisis. Crime and violence, there is a crisis there, and we require a similar consensus with similar oversight as to the programs that are going to be instituted to improve public safety and national security.
Pressure is mounting on the government to repeal a section of the Criminal Justice Administration Act which prohibits photographing or sketching prisoners in court or in the precincts of the court. The Press Association of Jamaica, PAJ, joins the Media Association of Jamaica in calling for the government to modernize the law. Parliament recently passed an increase to the fine associated with the offence from $20 to $1 million and the possible imprisonment in default of payment from 1 month to a year. PAJ President George Davis describes the increased fine as draconian and expressed concern about the possible prison time associated with the offence. The PAJ says research into similar laws in other jurisdictions indicates that rationales for their existence were to, among other things, prevent further publication of the identity of an accused person who may later be found not guilty, to maintain order in the precincts of the court, and to ensure smooth administration of justice. The PAJ says it does not believe any of those reasons is sufficient in contemporary Jamaica for a blanket ban of the type that now exists. Mr. Davis says photographs of defendants are now routinely published once charges have been laid. He argues that the police themselves regularly release names and even photographs of persons they refer to as persons of interest who have not even been charged with an offence. The PAJ president asserts that the ban on photography at court is therefore even more wrong. We now take a break here on the Midday News, but stay with us. More stories after these messages. Welcome back, continuing the news. Regional Technical Director at the Southern Regional Health Authority, Dr. Vitilius Reed Holder, is warning persons who suspect they may have contracted the dengue virus to first consult a doctor before they start self-medicating. Dr. Holder says persons who try to self-medicate could end up causing their medical condition to worsen.
There might be persons who have chronic illnesses who are on medications which should not be taken. For example, a person might have pains and that stronger medication like non-steroidal anti-inflammatories are used. If in case they end up having dengue, those medications can be bad. And so therefore, it is important that people empower themselves to understand what it is and what medication they ought to take and what they need to stop if in case they have dengue. So I'd encourage persons, listen, read for yourself, understand dengue, know what you can do, and as soon as you're ill, seek medical care so that we can also guide you.
The mayor of Maypen, Winston Mirage, has praised Wednesday's opening of the new Rock River Health Centre as the latest of several improvements to health care in the parish. Private sponsor Denise Debasset and the charity organization Food for the Poor funded and built the new facility, which had been operating out of 2 church buildings for close to 20 years. Mayor Mirage stressed it will further lessen the pressure on primary health care facilities like the Maypen Hospital by providing critical medical services.
And so we no longer have to rush off people in ambulances to Portmore to do a scan, or when you want some form of radiology, investigation. If you get a stroke and you reach Maypen Hospital in real time and you are diagnosed, and they send you around to this facility. Of course, it's still a private facility, you still have to pay, just like if you went to Portmore. And they scan you, and they send back the information to the accident and emergency department. The doctor can treat you right there and then. And you can walk out of Maypen Hospital another couple of days and nobody knew you got a stroke.
The National Water Commission, NWC, says there will be disruption in the water supply to the River Ridge and Farringdon areas today. This as the agency is experiencing challenges with water supply along the Barbican Road area. In a release earlier today, the company says every effort is being made to restore the normal water supply schedule for Friday night, September 20. Areas impacted are Cookhamdean, Tavistock, Millsboro, River Ridge, Farringdon Heights, and Rowan Heights. The release further states that further updates will be provided on the schedule of supply for these areas. In sports, outspoken West Indies fast bowling legend Michael Holding believes it's not all doom and gloom for the future of the region's team under CWI President Ricky Scarrett. However, he believes the current crop of players have lots of work to do. Details in this report.
The West Indies team have been in rebuilding mode for quite some time. The so-called young team has shown signs that they could be world beaters, but their lack of consistency has made them one of the worst teams in the world. The man dubbed the Whispering Death, Michael Holding, was a part of the Caribbean side when they were world beaters, and many would want to believe that he would be a great mentor for the current players. However, that doesn't seem to be the case. Although he's willing, Holding says for whatever reason, none of the current Windies players have reached out for help.
Maybe they are intimidated by the fact that they have coaches around them and they're not too sure how the coaches around them will react if they seek outside influence or seek outside help. There are a lot of youngsters in the West Indies team now. I think a lot of them are just feeling their way and they're not too sure how to approach certain things. I would hate to think that they think, oh, they can't approach me, or maybe some of them just don't want to. Some of them, as I've heard, some people say that is old-time cricket. I have no idea, but I would hate to think that they would be afraid to approach.
Some of the on-field performances recently have brought into question the leadership of Ricky Skerritt, who became Cricket West Indies president in March. His wholesale changes has raised several eyebrows, but Holding is confident that some of his decisions could benefit West Indies cricket.
I am not normally a man that likes too many committees, but some of the headings of the committees and some of the people that I see leading the committees, I think are responsible people and will do a good job in that regard and try and sort out the different aspects of West Indies cricket that need to be sorted out. A lot of people do a lot of talking about, oh, this needs fixing, that needs fixing, but you never hear anyone dedicated or appointed to do specific things. And if this is not just a camouflage or a facade, I think some good can come of these different committees.
West Indies players in recent years have had most of their success in T20 cricket, but Holding is still a staunch critic of the format. He did highlight some of its benefits towards the longer version of the game, but says modern-day batsmen are worse off.
It's helping the bowlers, it's helping the fielders. And it's also helping cricketers to get a lot more physically fit. But the most important thing, the basics of batting, that is lacking. And if you look around the entire world now and look at top-class batsmen, and you look at how they learn their game, not from the shortest form. Those who come through the shortest form struggle when they come to Test match cricket. Those who learn batting through the short form and are brilliant in the short form, when they get to Test match level, it's a struggle.
Holding recently completed his stint as one of the commentators for the Ashes series in England. Daniel Blake, TVJ Sports.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Shane Masters. Join us at 7 for Primetime News. On behalf of the News Sports and production teams, have a great weekend.